money.
Oh, they have a house. They're retired. They have 1.5 mil in the bank. They should be doing fine. No, they're like children.
Movies.
Resurrection was god-awful. I mean, you knew it would be when Michael Myers got his butt kicked by Busta Rhymes.
Cool.
Politics.
Republican Walmart shirts that say, I was born in November. I was born on a Monday. And if you don't like that, you can f*** off.
Yeah.
Advice for men.
There's a guy who proposed at a restaurant, and I was like, please reject him.
Oh.
That would brighten my day so much.
Sex.
Just do it rough.
Sounds great to me.
Sounds really good to me.
This is LARKTOPIA Faction.
So money. Okay,
Money.
This is one of the things I want to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ended up going down the rabbit hole of, instead of politics this year, even though I was absorbing a lot of political crap, I decided to like follow the money, or the money movement of planet Earth, and what's going on with. So I mentioned cryptocurrency. That it's different for me versus you guys because you've got time on your side. Big time. Every year after like 28, not to frighten the shit out of you, is the opportunity for hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of time. And you already, the work ethic that both of you guys have put in the last 3 years, let's say.
Yeah.
And the goals that you have and the direction, the drive, and the focus. You already have narrowed down the field, that your strengths and your weaknesses. This is stuff that people don't. They'll either never get, and then they end up in the wage job that they hate forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
In that rut.
Yep. And it never gets better, even if you get better jobs. This is just me talking. The office job that has the kombucha on tap. My last job was one of those millennial-centric, colorful, open layout, open floor plan.
Hip office jobs.
I want some more airflow. This car is overly. It's like phones keep getting more complicated. I'll figure it out. Are you hot?
I like the heat.
You're okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I
We'll just
like
get some air for a few minutes. So I profile people based on the cars they drive, and you can become a great driver by avoiding the models of cars. Dodge Durango, either an aggressive mom or a firearm fanatic dad.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I see those types of people because I drive their cars and park their cars.
Yeah, you'll notice a pattern. Right?
It's funny because we're always taught like not to judge people, but we're humans. It's in our nature. We always categorize in some way or another. Whether it's like
carist.
Carist. I'm with you.
I'm
like
a radical carist.
I could look at a car and be like, I have a feeling I know who's in that car.
Yeah.
And I'll like maybe get closer and be like, okay, I think I was right. Or like,
oh, absolutely.
if they don't have stickers on the back, that gives them away immediately what they want. Which,
sure,
I hate car stickers. It's kind of a pet peeve. I just think it's so weird. Not my thing.
Who has the? Is that an Avalon? Toyota Avalon?
That's me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's him.
Sensible, won't break down. Incredibly based car to have.
I love that car, dude.
And what do you drive? That
I drive that Nissan Murano.
Murano. Okay. Did you get a good deal? Good enough. The car is obviously the number one money pit that can get you in trouble. So if you ever think, I might like to immediately go into a 72-month loan, which I know you wouldn't for any reason. It's like, oh, I got this cash. They'll give me any line of credit I want. People aren't buying, or actually car prices are going up.
Yeah, they are.
Keep the car running as long as you possibly can. That's one money related thing I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, that's the
bought
idea.
Lemons and
you've had some lemons.
Yeah, two lemons. Well, one lasted until it certain car accident. The other one was just a lemon from like the first couple months of having it. Then it was just worse and worse and worse. And I was like, I had to put the old girl down.
Yep. Yep.
So I got the Nissan.
Okay. How many miles on the Avalon?
142.
Okay. Those will go to 250, 300 if you change the oil.
Oh yeah.
And do the basics.
I keep care of that. I take care of that car really well. I love
There
that
you go.
thing. It's gonna run forever. I'm gonna run until it stops.
Right. That's the understated. There's some extremely wealthy guys that drive Toyota Land Cruisers and Avalons, and they're like worth. These guys are worth like 10 million, and they want Camrys and stuff because they like going under the radar.
Oh yeah.
And they don't want to think about their car, which is, I think that's a cool idea.
I do too.
I would get in trouble if I had money lying around to get like a slightly better car, but that's a money pit. That's one of the pitfalls of people. So most people can't really afford the cars you see them driving. If you see a truck, if you see a F-150 that was made in the last 6 years, that person cannot afford it. 70 grand they can't afford. You know the term NEET, N-E.E.T?
Yep.
All right.
Not employed in training, or not employed, educated, or in training. So it's someone who like lives in their mom's basement, doesn't do anything.
Right. And
I know a few people like that.
I'm starting to hear more and more of that story for Gen Z, for people under the age of 28, 27. Because they're checking out.
Yeah.
They're checking out of the job. They've been to the job market. They got chewed up, you know, in the meat grinder and spit out. And they're like, well, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, when you've got cash and you don't have a rent, it's like vital to
Do something
invest
productive.
in your business endeavors or invest in any form of investment at all of some kind just because of the inflation situation.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I would agree. From my perspective, just last year, it was more of a wasted opportunity on my front because I graduated in August, like right near the front of the pandemic.
Right.
It was really hard to find work. I was unemployed for like 8 months. So I was, sitting at home doing literally nothing but just like job searching with no luck, just until like the last month, honestly. And that kind of put my mentality in the pit, dude. I lost all my motivation and drive to do anything, so I just sat home and played video games and didn't do anything productive. And that sucked. And I realized that
And that was the rut you were talking about too.
Yeah.
It was
And honestly, I kind of was glad that happened in a weird way because it showed that I would never want to do that. Like, just sit at home and do nothing. I would never want to do that.
Okay.
It made me kind of
Some people can do that for like 25 years.
I could,
some
if given the
people
opportunity,
years
but
and
I'd probably shoot
beyond that.
myself.
Right.
But I was like, dude, this sucks. I mean, like, I like, don't get me wrong, I kind of like being lazy. It's just kind of a bad habit, but that was too much. That was way too much.
Yep.
It's nice to be out doing something now because now I could interact with people.
Right.
And
Right.
just seeing my friends work and me staying at home made me feel like a loser. That was not a good feeling.
Yeah, because just by nature, like, we need to be outside and
We need
be
something.
social. Even if it's not much, you can't do this reclusive thing. Like, a lot of people, as we go more and more towards, like, I think locking people down was taught people or taught governments, here's how people behave, here's how people do well at home, where they're constantly being fed information or entertainment, and they may or may not even need to go outside. So how can we further the zombification of people staying at home? I'm always worried when the headset becomes like
full dive VR type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Because right now, I've never even put one of those things on.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
See,
I put that on for the first time last night at Dave & Buster's.
Oh, really? And pretty cool.
I was lightsaber dueling Darth Vader, yep.
Okay. So, yeah, like, as soon as and in some ways it already is, but the virtual life is more enticing than being outside and doing healthy things that are good for you physically. A lot of people are going to choose that.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to go for it. They're going to be like, oh yeah, hook me up to UBI, which may or may not be coming, and hook me up to the VR, and it's gonna be like
Ready Player One
or Wall-E. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I could see us heading towards Wall-E very
Yeah.
slowly. That seems like a very
people staying in the simulation because they don't want to face the
Yeah.
real world.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was having this exact conversation with my friend Evan last night. I went to hang out with him, and before he left, we were like, you know, if that kind of like VR where it like puts you in the game, actually, like if that came out today, that'd be game over for me. I'd be in that forever. I love that kind of stuff. I was like, but if it came out, if I was like an 80-year-old man and everything, my body's breaking down, I'm like, this sucks. I'll just go in VR. That's
No,
probably
you
what'll
can
happen.
hook me up at age 80. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But right now, if that came out, that'd be game over.
Right. Right.
I want to live my life. I spent a good chunk of my life just sitting around not doing much or just watching TV, and you know, it's like I want to. Those shows that I love to watch as a kid, I want to be making those. I want to be involved with those, but I can't do that just being static, or I can't even say static, like dead in the water, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like me last year, I was fortunate enough, I never lost my job. I at least was working weekends, you know, Friday through Sunday. And when I had moments, I was at least trying to do some bit of voice work with that time frame. Even if it's just a bridging, it still felt really good to get that done.
Absolutely. It feels good to be productive. I guess last year wasn't like a complete waste on me, because last year I really started like working out for the first time, like consistently. I started putting together a workout routine. So I started working out now. I started seeing Lee, and really start like actually taking the first few steps to try to follow a career in voice acting.
Yeah.
Which is something I've always wanted to do, but I never made any steps towards it besides last year. So it wasn't a total waste. That's two big things. I think it's important to like look at the positives, because I mean everything is mindset. But just recently, I haven't done like anything with voice acting. I'm lacking motivation, and that sucks.
Just by doing it, you'll all of a sudden know what to do and not to do. Like it doesn't. I have this is one of my major weaknesses is paralysis. You know, perfectionism, and that paralysis by analysis, where you are like, I don't even want to start this unless it's perfect. And nobody even wants perfection anymore. They want raw, sort of like how garage bands and the snobs that say they like that music because it's got, it sounds like it was, you know, raw, or not overproduced. I understand that. Like, shitty is a style.
Yeah.
In the 90s, 80s and 90s movies, which are not holding up well, some are. But
yeah, like very, very few. Like maybe you'll have like a Mummy that, you know, still holds up really well, but for the most part, not that often.
Like, what's a shitty movie from the night? Like Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Not worth your time.
Or just bad action movies where the director thinks it would be cool to like pan in, like somebody sets something on the table and walks away, and there's nobody else in the room but the cameraman, and they start zooming into the object. Like, what's that? Whoa.
Like being all artsy like that.
Right. And it's like, that doesn't work anymore. So it's the directing now should be like, you're admitting we all know what we're doing here. We're making a stupid movie. So just leave the mistakes in. Like, some comedians leave their bad takes in the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, might as well. That's funnier. Like, you didn't even care about you left a bad take in.
It's like the art of not trying, but not trying really well.
And
I think it's kind of cool, because it's some of the stuff I like that, but it's...
Yeah, like when you can just be a film and you just know what you want to be. It's like, that's the problem with some films. They don't have an identity.
Right.
Or they don't know what they want to be.
Yeah. They have vague tone.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what is this movie trying to be? I think that's what I said by postmodern. I don't even know what modern is. I don't even know what era was what.
I had a really good example of one the other day, but I just could not remember it off the top of my head. And that's the worst, honestly, the worst thing you could say about a film. It left you have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
Because even one that's like really terrible, you'll at least
You can complain about it really
Yeah,
well.
you can complain about it, but when it's like so bland and so boring that you forget about it, here's a prime example of one: the RoboCop reboot.
That's been forgotten. Like,
Yeah.
nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks
I
about
forgot
it.
it came out.
Exactly.
Forgot
like
there
most
was a
people do.
reboot.
Yeah.
I just heard it was so.
Or the Total Recall reboot.
Another one.
That's another one. Yeah.
That sucked. That was not good.
I didn't see it, but it just didn't.
I think I saw it, but I don't think I finished it.
How much are these reboots just the studio renewing their intellectual property so they don't lose it?
A lot of the time, I mean, look at Fantastic Four, the last one.
That was a blatant example of that.
Yeah.
Right.
If we're talking about like not putting the effort to come up with new ideas, but just like, oh, people like this, do it again. Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
thinking of like Disney, because now they're trying to do like the live action versions
Yep.
of all the Disney cartoons,
Yep.
and I don't really care for that. I like the animation.
The only one of those I can say I justifiably like better than the animated one is Jungle Book, but that's just because it does deviate from the story a little bit. It
That was
does-
the one with Bill Murray as a voice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
think that was good.
Reboot-wise, the top two reboots that come to my head, like when I hear about, successful reboots, because it has similar characters and it'll sometimes retread on the same story, but it adds something new.
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island is one of them,
Okay.
and the Invisible Man reboot from last year.
That was good. You got me to watch that movie. That was really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, they both
Skull
have-
Island was with Jack Black.
No, that was the 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong.
Oh.
Skull Island was the one with Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston, and Brie Larson, and John Goodman.
Wow. Okay, I didn't keep up on that.
That one, King Kong's in it, and Skull Island's obviously a key factor in it, but it doesn't follow the stereotypical Kong storyline of him falling in love with a hot girl and kidnapping her and being taken to a city or something like that. This one's like, okay, let's do something different with the character, but let's still honor his roots.
I see.
Yeah. And, this time we have Kong, and he's finally going to be with Godzilla and the other monsters that fans have always wanted him to be with. So let's not be afraid to take chances with this one, which they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they fleshed out Kong in a way that I really love, because it makes this one stand out.
Okay.
He's not just trying to be like the old 30s one or the Peter Jackson one, which
Right.
in a way, like, yeah, they put a lot of emotion down, but it's not the way an animal would emote.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love Andy Serkis to death and all, but that King Kong is definitely probably my least favorite out of all of them.
I like when people try something new, even though it sucks. I just appreciate that they tried something new rather than just sticking to the status quo.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay.
I liked it.
And definitely Invisible Man. That was definitely another good one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least that one, this is what I like about that one, too. It basically, every Invisible Man storyline, the Invisible Man always talks. It's like dumbing down to the audience. It's like, hey, he's here, you can't see him, but he's here. Whereas this one, he never speaks at all. You can even ask Connor about that.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere speaks for itself.
Yeah.
There's a few moments where he like says some words, but that's
Right.
That's it.
It was
Most-
more ominous.
yeah,
Yeah.
That way.
it was cool.
I mean, he doesn't really even fully talk until the very, very end.
Not to be confused with Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which is
I don't think I remember that one.
yeah, that was Chevy Chase and Sam Neill.
That movie stunk, dude.
Have you seen that? It's
It's horrible.
which had an interesting sci-fi plot. That there was this chemical. He was in a building, which was, when I was little, I saw that when I was like 6 or something, and it scared the hell out of me. Like the building that there's like a nuclear reactor that in there, or some chemical fire or something like that, and it turns half the building invisible, and he was stuck in it, and then the special ops team has to go find the Invisible Man.
The idea was cool.
The idea was cool, but it was that was kind of one of the that was an example of bad 90s filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That kind of ties into
slow,
like,
lazy directing. I don't know.
yeah. That's kind of what I was talking about. Just like they tried something new. It didn't work out very well,
Right.
but I appreciate that they tried doing that idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't. The only reason I started uploading videos at all was because I was trying to entertain myself at night after being a miserable prick. Whatever I'm trying to do with a funny video or whatever is supposed to be as disturbing and morbid as humanly possible, so that we can laugh at the dark shit, because everyone's dark now and they're not laughing about it. They're taking it. They're dark and they're taking it too serious.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's bad and it's only gonna get. Well, you know, both sides. You get these people that are like, boy, do you believe what this asshole Trump said? And it's like, what are you gonna do about it right now? And then you're gonna get, you know, and I just don't think what Biden is doing is very much of a good idea. And it's like, I don't, you know, the CIA doesn't give a shit about what Carol, who lives in this house, thinks about anything. Like the biggest truth you can give yourself is that you are
voting for a mascot.
That's the best you could do, unless you're going to vote once every 4 years and write to your Senate. I always say this to my dad, like, he's like, well, the less police we have, the more crime there's going to be. And I said, yeah, write a letter to your senator. That's all you can do. Yeah. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Unless you have $10 million or more, and then you can start bribing politicians or donating to campaigns and making friends in inner circles, infiltrate. Then they have dark money. You've given dark money. They have dirt on you. You have dirt on them. Everyone does favors and leverage, and all of a sudden you're in the game, and your soul will be forever tarnished. Heaven forbid you guys create something that is a radical, original, cool movie, and it is not necessarily censored, but it is deemed that they don't want you doing well.
Yeah.
There is that. There's like a lot of talented people that are a threat to how even entertainment or any industry is.
Mm-hmm.
That the cards are and the game is rigged very efficiently.
Yeah, no, I think that was part of like the negative mentality I had in my rut, was that like just looking at the opposition of like, I'm starting from zero, and there's so many other like people that are way more talented than me that are having a hard time finding work. It's like, how do I have a chance?
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not the right mindset to have. I still would love to do like voice acting or just anything creative. If I could do anything creative and make a living off of doing that, that's kind of what I'd like to be heading towards. Because I know I will, if I get stuck in the customer service industry forever, I will go insane.
Yes, you will.
That is not
That's
a
guaranteed.
I don't want to be
will
that
snap.
way forever. I mean, it pays really well, but if I'm stuck in that safe zone, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life.
I don't want to be stuck in that safe zone. I just don't know where to step out. You know,
safe. You mean like the
I've got
balance between having savings and doing something you are passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
Right.